New video. I haven't gotten to react to a video in so freaking long now, which not intended to jab at that. I want to take that back. I might even cut it out. But I'm really excited because this is a scripted video, which is something I haven't gotten to react to yet, like with a video. Like I would make videos after all the Sanders Sides videos and after the cartoon therapy and stuff, but I didn't like watch it and film myself watching it before this, and I'm very excited, and I knew it. Thomas, you're not subtle. I figured it out later that you meant that I should watch Avatar because that was the show you were covering. I did start it. I'm on episode like 9 of the first season, so I still don't know that much, so hopefully y'all don't get too deep, but yeah, I couldn't watch it anywhere other than like on YouTube through this really annoying person's reaction videos. Oh my god, I was sitting there trying not to like reach to the screen and punch the person in the face because of just how annoying they were. They were not only were they talking over the videos, which I have a very big pet peeve of reactors talking over the content. They were also making stupid, slightly racist jokes and comments, and sexist jokes and comments, and didn't seem, you know, okay with most things. So, needless to say, I wouldn't have gotten along with this person had I met them in real life. So it was frustrating to have to watch it through that, but I did start it. So I have a basic premise of what's going on. So I will hopefully understand what y'all are talking about. So let's get this started.
What is up, everybody? Okay, before we get into this episode, which starts in this amount of time, that amount of time, I'm not going to get through this fast. Starting the day of this day, we are turning on our YouTube membership feature. This is really cool because not only by joining are you helping to support us, and I'm not just saying that you're supporting us, like you are truly
I know about the
supporting
subscription
us,
thing,
but you're also
or
going
the
to be gaining
sponsor.
access to a bunch of really cool stuff. You're going to get members only.
I wish I wasn't poor. I would totally do it.
You're going to get a badge next to your name so that when you comment, we'll know who's commenting. Potential first glimpses at new episodes and series. You're going to gain access.
God, I wish I wasn't poor.
Videos after they go up, and maybe even the occasional discount at the store where I sell my things. There's the website right there. You click on it. Joan told me to say it like that. All it takes
Of course they did.
And I don't mean a high five. That was misleading. It's $5 a month, but that's still a good deal.
I'm
All you
still
have to do
poor.
is click the blue join button down below this video, or click the first link down in the description below. But if you don't want to do that, or if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Nothing changes.
But I will
You
worry
still
about
get
it
all the
because
access to the
I
video
can't
content.
not.
We still love you and appreciate any support that you do provide. Lastly, for any of you who joined today, the first live stream is going to be happening the day after today, this day, and they're most likely going to be happening the day after a scripted video is posted. And time's up. Bye.
Damn, you're good. Nice, I do know that.
Larry, quit picking at it.
Yes, I missed Elliot.
No, you're acting like a
Or is
child.
that Elliot?
No,
I missed
you're acting
something.
like a child. He's like, no, he's actually really mature. But here you are acting like a child. I already paid for this, so you're gonna do it.
Is that now? I think I missed something.
Doug, why in the wide world of sports are we back here?
I thought we made some really good breakthroughs at the last session.
Well, the session is where the breakthrough stopped. We started off strong in the playoffs, but then didn't even make the Sweet 15s.
That doesn't even make any sense, Larry. You're a theater kid. Stop trying to talk sports.
Yeah, I remember.
Me.
I'll call Mom later.
Is that Elliot, or did I miss like a name tag?
Listen, I'm about to start a session. Can I call you back?
Or is that credits?
Therapy, I told you. Yes, Dad, I do need it. I think I need it. I don't know, it's just nice having someone to talk to, you know?
Kai, I'm just trying to help. And he's a really good doctor. And I think it would do you some good to talk to somebody. Just try it this one time. Thank you. I'll be back in an hour. Put your glasses on. What are you doing?
But that's not what I meant. No, that's not... Yeah, Yeah. Okay. I know, Dad. Yeah, I know.
Oof, dad issues.
Alright, cool. I'll see you guys this weekend.
That might hit too close to home. Oh my gosh, this again. Is there like a...
Nurse.
No, my name is Elliot.
Okay, good, it is Elliot.
I like your new office.
Oh, thanks. The last complex kicked me out for being too disruptive or something.
I don't believe it.
Believe it.
Naruto.
Yeah. Oh, you're catching on. This is good. Let me get my journal. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These are the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little session.
Well, I think we gave this a great second try. Leonard, you only made things worse last time.
What? I say what now?
Sorry, Doctor. Larry's in a bit of a sour mood. The salmon bagel he had this morning is not agreeing with him.
I think I might have salmonella.
You don't get that from salmon. We love the new location,
We seldomly leave town or go on vacation.
so we decided to dress for the occasion.
And it's only 30 minutes from the last location, but okay. I'm glad you're back, Elliot.
You are? I thought the point was for me not to come back.
I wouldn't say that's the point. Lots of well-adjusted people go to therapy, Elliot. But regardless, we still have a lot to work through since, we only had one real siesta.
Right. And this one's going to be my last.
Well, I say, what now?
Oh, they're getting the new intro.
New patient, hello. How do? My name is Dr. Bacchiani, and you must be Kai. Reach for the Kai. In Toy Story. Was it the entrance? Is it too much?
Nothing to do with you. I think you're great, and I'm going to fully commit today, or whatever. It's the most non-committal way of saying that. Yeah. Afterward, I'm done.
Great googly mooglies. Well, okay. If you're sure, then it looks like we've got some ground to cover, so we better review quickly.
My mother walked in, and it's only been 5 minutes. Okay.
Of course, Larry, you're saying we may have taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque, so we should discuss what happened in the last session.
Oh, well, sure. Well, we came in because I felt we weren't quite on the same page in the relationship.
Then you compared our relationship to some cartoon rocks.
Yeah, I did. The crystal gems. Good recall, Larry.
We talked about how it's okay for me to need reassurance sometimes, and about how we aren't two halves of a whole in our relationship. We're two fully realized separate individuals who chose to fuse, and that's what our biggest strength is. Oh, and then we stole your...
Art! With our charming back and forth.
Oh, that you did. I am a fan of witty and high-energy conversation. Oh, it's the Office. You hate it. It's new. It's been throwing people off more than when Teen Titans became Teen Titans Go. But, I'm still settling in. It can be a process to get things just the way you want them. All right, go ahead and get to talking. Gotta go fast. Previously on Elliot.
Oh my god.
You want me to... we talked about my relationship with my boyfriend Mitchell and how it might not be the most stable thing on the planet.
That's right. And did you two have any progress?
Yeah, we talked about some of it. It's,
I love their
It's hard
nails.
to bring it up at a good time, you know?
Elliot, there are plenty of good times. Peanut butter jelly time, adventure time, True 48. That's a particular favorite of mine.
Right, but sometimes he's tired or upset or he's just...
Then he
I don't
doesn't
know.
care.
I did bring it up, though.
Oh, good. And what was discussed exactly?
I was seeing you alone now. And that's it.
Elliot, as we discussed, you have equal weight and importance in your relationship.
Right, yeah, totally.
Has anything significant happened since our last meeting?
Oh, nothing too significant. Larry did have a eensy-teensy-weensy bean.
Just say what you're going to say.
I tried to throw Larry a nice evening, and he threw me a little fit.
Yes, I did. Because it was an overly extravagant fever dream.
There may have been a few rose petals, a candelabra, a rented fire pit. Maybe doves were released in the living room, and I may have hired someone to play the harp. I mean...
Finding someone in your living room is scary. I almost tackled her.
You didn't have any problem with the 2 masseuses I rented.
You believe Sven and Vlad out of this. They were Nordic angels.
Great blast!
What was that you said about being kicked out for being disruptive?
Elliot, if I've only got you for one more session, let's try to treat Mitchell how Disney treats many of their questionable racist animations of the past and pretend like they don't exist.
That seems mean to Mitchell.
This is a solo therapy session, after all. A
That's
hasty journey
painfully
like a
accurate.
young amateur once had to make. And I'm here to help you open up all your chakras.
Naruto.
Wrong show, Elliot. Wrong show. I mean, I said the title.
Okay, so I may have gotten an eensy-teensy, tiddly-winksy, big carried away.
Working with children has ruined the way you speak.
And Larry wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Oh, I just didn't need it. It was sweet of you. It was. And I'm sure it cost a fortune, which I'm not thrilled about. But I don't need to be pampered. I don't need to be taken care of all the time.
Whoa! Looks like the blind bandit stepped into the ring.
Oh, boy, we are off to a rocky start.
Oh, you have no idea. All right, Elliot, if memory serves, you're part of a nice little modern Stone Age family.
Let's give them a little credit, Doc. They at least made it to the Iron Age, but yeah.
Mother, father, sister, brother.
Oh, it's like you take notes or something.
It's like you've gotten more sarcastic or something.
Like I'm in a better mood this time or something.
Speaking of which, last time I said that you were the Jack in your family of Incredibles, but you said you weren't incredible. Why do you think you have that outlook on yourself?
Wow. Switch gears real fast.
Yep, this session is the Mach 5 and I'm Speed Racer. Let's go!
I mean, I don't know. I'm not special.
And that's where I'm gonna hit the brakes. Elliot, looks like you're in need of your own quest.
A Johnny Quest?
I appreciate you trying to speak my language, but no. You, like so many people at some point in their lives, must embark on a journey to discover your own self-worth. And I know that's not the easiest thing in the Four Nations, but some of the most arduous journeys.
I caught that.
Best stories.
Well, mine is a never-ending story.
Oh my god, I hate that movie. Oh my god, I have to sorry, I have to pause it because I freaking hate that movie. You don't understand, okay? You might love that movie, so I might like have just made you gasp or something, but I hate the Never-Ending Story. When I was like 3 or 4, like really little, and I mean really little, my mother decided to show that movie to me and my to me and my brother. We were both really little, so I have these scarring images and sounds of a horse drowning in its own sorrow from when I was like 3, and then the eternal darkness or whatever the hell it was coming out of nowhere to destroy everyone. And I don't care if the horse came back at the end, I still had to watch that thing drown itself in its own sorrow, and that's messed up, okay? So I have that imprinted in my mind at a very young age, just like I went to the Titanic exhibit at a very young age. So I'm never watching the Titanic, and I'm scared of boats, because I literally had to, simulate going on the Titanic or whatever at a very young age. So, no. Sorry, I had to rant, because you said the Never-Ending Story, and it was like, oh my god, no.
Regret doing that.
No points for that one. Not a cartoon and mean. Your quest, along with being expedited, has another similarity to Avatar, Hank. Neither of you believe you deserve that great inner strength.
I know you don't need constant care, Larry. It's just, I don't know, trying to contribute more to our relationship.
You contribute enough to our relationship by being yourself and by being there for me.
Do I, though? See, you know he says these sweet things to me all the time. So why am I so confused as to what to do?
It's okay to be confused. Sometimes life can be like a dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you keep moving, you will come to a better place.
That sounds suspiciously unoriginal. Is it from a cartoon?
Come now, Larry, I am capable of coming up with my own original ideas. However, you are correct in this instance. That is a quote from good old Uncle Iroh. You know, Kai, whenever you're ready, eye contact is perfectly safe. I mean, I'm no Ko the Face Dealer or anything. Ah, there I go again with another random cartoon reference. It's funny, I put this cartoon up in 2 other sessions this week. Ko is this really cool, malevolent spirit from this animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Haven't gotten there yet.
If you care about any of this or anything, but you two haven't seen Avatar, have you?
No.
I have a severe, highly specific phobia in regards to blue aliens.
Oh, except for the adorable stuffed one we took.
Fancy too. At Disney World.
Yeah, well then you're in luck because I'm not referring to the James Cameron movie. We're talking the excellent and alien-free Avatar: The Last
I was
Airbender.
confused for a second until you clarified.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, you've seen it?
No, but it had really good music in the end credits. I never got home from school in time.
Oh, you're killing me. Elliot, you watched Naruto but not Airbender? Come on.
I haven't watched Naruto. Where you got this?
So, in the show, there are primarily four
Either have I.
nations that correlate with the four elements: water, earth, fire, and air. Certain people are born with the gift to control, or bend, one of these elements. Long before the events of the show, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I know. Drama. Anyway, the show's intro was already a perfectly adequate synopsis of the story, so I'm just going to continue borrowing some of its language. Only the Avatar, one individual who is reincarnated in each generation and can master all four elements, could stop the Fire Nation. But when the world needed him most, him being Aang, the 12-year-old Avatar at the time, and soon to be only remaining airbender in the world, he vanished. 100 years pass, and two siblings from the Southern Water Tribe, two siblings from the Northern Water Tribe, Katara and Sokka, discover Aang.
Will you go penguin sledding with me?
And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone, let me tell you. But I believe, not like Katara, that Aang can save the world. What? I said what now? You were saying something?
Maybe you did that on purpose.
Katara and Sokka are from the Southern Water Tribe, not the Northern. And Ko doesn't take your face if you make eye contact. He takes it if you show emotion.
You're right, my mistake. So you're familiar with the show?
So you think I'm like this
No, you did that on
super
purpose.
powerful, multi-element controlling kid Ong?
It's Aang.
Ong?
I'm saying Aang.
I'm hearing Ong.
How are you hearing Aang? It's Aang, not Ong, and don't you Don't you dare pronounce it like that. But yes, you are like him in that you both doubt yourselves
That's a
in what
mood.
you are capable of. See, Aang disappeared because he ran away from the Southern Air Temple where he was raised. Due to the war, he had to start his training far earlier than most avatars, giving up a lot of his childhood. It was a lot to bear. And as the threat of change grew even more overwhelming, namely after overhearing that he would be separated from his friend and mentor, Monkey Otso, he got scared and ran away. Then he and his air bison opera were caught in a storm that plunged them into the ocean, where he went into the Avatar state and encased them both in an iceberg where he resided for the next 100 years.
Okay, got it.
When he was released,
Great.
he learned of how much his absence had affected the world, and his training of the other three elements would have to go at a, dare I say, stupidly fast pace.
You pretty much mastered airbending, and that only took you 112 years. I'm sure you can master 3 more elements by next summer.
The task was an overwhelming undertaking. He doubted himself incredibly, but it didn't stop him from trying to bring balance back to the world.
Quite frankly, the only one disturbing our balance is you.
Larry, you're the last person to criticize anyone about balance.
Dot, don't start.
I'm just saying, those who trip in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
It's live in glass houses.
I know what I said.
You know, Kai, you remind me of a certain character from Avatar, the independent streak, the waiting for all of this to be over, and dare I say, the attitude.
I don't have an attitude. I just don't need this. I can solve my own problems. Plus, I wouldn't even be here if I hadn't been forced. So if you don't mind, or if you do, I don't care. I'm gonna reclaim the hour that was stolen from me and use it to nap. People might have therapy couches, right?
So this is your first time in therapy.
Nothing between Dot and I has changed, or at least I haven't changed. So I don't think we need the Avatar as much as you think we do.
See, Kai, this behavior reminds me of the young Sokka's initial impression of Aang. Sokka lived his life preparing for a war with the Fire Nation. When Aang showed up, the supposed Avatar, Sokka felt like Aang was ill-equipped to solve the modern world's problems.
We can't fight firebenders with fun.
How could he solve something he didn't know the first thing about? Is that how you feel about me?
You're not the Avatar.
No, I'm not. If anything, I think I would be a waterbender.
And I'm not Sokka.
Larry, you and Sokka do have a lot in common, let me tell you. Water tribe.
Not if he's from a water tribe.
Larry's not much of a swimmer.
You know what I like about Sokka?
What?
F***ing nothing.
Sokka
Damn.
smart and a capable warrior.
I've changed my mind. Let's hear him outdone.
But unlike everyone else in his group,
He is
can't
sexist.
bend an element. So,
At least at
whenever
first.
he has the opportunity, he leaps at the chance to prove himself. Even though he doesn't have their natural bending talents, he does actually make a difference with his ingenuity.
Okay, I guess I am pretty good.
However, when he feels useless in any given circumstance, he will lash out. He can be a bit stubborn and set in his ways. Also, he had a pretty good sense of humor.
I'll agree. I'm pretty funny. But I'm not stubborn.
See? Classic Sokka.
You're a classic Sokka.
I'd say I'm more like Aang with a pinch of Boomy.
These names mean nothing to me. Boomy, Saki,
Sokka.
I'll sock ya.
Larry, don't threaten violence. You can't fight. You're a thespian.
It's okay, Larry. No character I can name would
True.
be a perfect parallel to your life and your situation. There are many elements of many different characters we can all relate to. For example, in the last session when you mentioned that Dot was suffocating you, it reminded me of my footwear-free babe.
I don't remember saying that at all. I wouldn't say that. Did I say that?
So you don't remember? Perhaps that's an example of you lashing out as a defense mechanism?
I don't know.
Sokka responds the same way when he feels that people are pointing out his inadequacies. Maybe Dot, admitting that she felt the disconnect, is making you feel like there is something wrong with you, thus leading to this behavior?
I don't know. I really don't. But sheesh. You would have thought I would have caught on to something like this a while ago.
Okay, but what I'm going through is a little bit more than self-doubt.
You're probably right. But like Aang, you have support, right? What about your sister?
Oh, yeah. No, she's always been there for me. She's going off to college soon.
Is that why you want these sessions to end?
What?
Well, the Woodstock to your Snoopy is leaving. So do you feel that you have to quickly become independent before that time comes?
I don't know. I didn't think about that. Maybe. That'd be funny, though, because she's the only one in my family that thought me going to therapy was a good thing.
Oh, what about the rest of your family?
Well, I don't know. I don't really talk about it with my brother. But, my mom, she doesn't love it. It offends her, I guess. Like, she feels like this is my way of telling her she did something wrong.
Good grief. And your dad?
Do you see that, Picani? You see this? Take note of that. That's important.
I can't see your pupils. That's not good.
He doesn't think I need it. He thinks I'm fine, that I don't have real problems.
Oh, sure. And there is no war in Ba Sing Se, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Avatar reference about a conspiracy involving the denial of an unpleasant truth and an effort to keep the peace.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, he's always pointed to my brother as an example, you know, like, your brother wouldn't do that, or your brother wouldn't paint his nails.
You're getting
like
close to my story, Sanders.
All I've ever wanted in my miserable life was to be more like Chad. His name is Chad. It's funny, like, I was the one who ended up with the legacy name, even though I'm not the firstborn.
Oh, your dad's name is Elliot too?
No, Elliot is my preferred name. It was my middle name. My parents named me Herbert Jr.
Ah, that's right. That was in your paperwork. I would have gone with Elliot too. Now, you two have been together for 15 years, correct?
That's right. You have a great memory.
Thank you. I also have a handy-dandy notebook.
Yep.
Funny enough, Sokka was 15 when his whole adventure began. But tell me about your adventure. How did you two lovebirds first meet?
I don't know if I can recall. I remember it was a crisp autumn day. I was the director of a bold and daring version of Hamlet where no one dies.
No one died in your version of Hamlet?
It was the family-friendly version.
Oh
It was a great show. I had just moved to town.
Oh my god.
I went immediately to join the local theater community. I volunteered to become Larry's stage manager because, well, I admired his drive to see this production through and just how much he had invested himself into the show. Not to mention, I admired his roguishly handsome face.
Okay, all right.
She was a perfect stage manager.
Oh my god.
Attentive, consistent,
What am I watching?
stunningly attractive.
Guys, I'm still over here.
I haven't had a stage able to trust someone else to do the job.
Oh, that is cuter than a saber-toothed moose lion cub. Now, Larry, you had mentioned that Dot was the first person you could trust to do the job. Were there issues before?
Well, no one else would treat the situation like she would. She'd help and be attentive, not only to my needs, but to those of the cast. She had a much lighter hand than mine. Normally, if there was a problem, I wouldn't dwell on it. I would solve it then and there. No going around it, no clever solutions. I'd face the problem head on and get it solved. Dot's methods were admittedly more popular than mine.
Golly, are you sure that you haven't watched this show before? Because you're practically quoting it.
No! Animation makes me queasy. Pop-Pop never let me watch cartoons. Now,
I will smack you.
I can really stomach them.
Larry, the same.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But I recommend you give animation another shot. At least for this show. If you deal with things the way you say you do, then I believe you might really identify with a certain runway.
You know who I'm like?
Sokka?
No, I'll tell you who I'm like. Toph.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world.
I
Kyle,
don't know
you're
that
pretty
character.
tough on Sokka.
Holy shit.
Sorry, my apologies for the pun. Let's talk Toph Beifong. What do you like about her?
Who is Toph?
Toph is an earthbending master.
I don't know, she's that, she's metal as hell, take your pick.
She's vocal about her opinions and faces every problem head on, especially if it's a problem people tell her she can't handle on her own.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me. But I can take care of myself by myself.
That does sound like you.
Oh, and no one knows you better than your bae. Do kids still say bae?
Oh, I've been a teacher for years, and I just stopped trying to keep up.
So can you tell me why, out of all the characters, Toph takes the title belt? Like, when representing you, Toph's the top choice? Maybe it's because Toph triumphs over tough tasks and troublesome tragedy. I'm getting carried away. Please go on.
Toph doesn't take anything lying down. She has her own disability, but she never lets it get in the way.
Even though I was born blind, I've never had a problem seeing. I see with earthbending. It's kind of like seeing with my feet.
She takes what people think is weakness, and she turns it into strength.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing in your paperwork you deal with a disability yourself?
Yeah, but you've probably never heard of it.
Try me.
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
You're right. I have not heard of
Wow.
it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't sweat it, though. You're not alone in your ignorance.
Oh, good.
It's a connective tissue disorder. It creates a lot of joint pain, among other things, and I was diagnosed officially about 2 years ago, but I've always known that something was up. You know, I wasn't normal. I could never really jump or climb or run like other people my age.
Well, that must have made things pretty difficult growing up.
Yeah, I used to hang out with friends and just watch them doing stuff that normal kids do. Like climbing trees or climbing fences, whatever able-bodied kids do. And I would just know that I probably shouldn't do that, you know, or I'd get hurt. So I'd just watch them have fun. People often treated me like someone that needed to be taken care of, and I did not care for that shit.
So you often found yourself in a position similar to Toph.
Right.
Some might even say a position similar to Sokka as well.
What?
He felt out of place at times because for most of the journey, his group consisted entirely of benders. It made him feel less than.
Each of you is so amazing and so special, and I'm not. I'm just the guy in the group who's regular.
Is that something you can relate to?
As a matter of fact, it's not! You don't know me! Stop trying to read me! You're not a psychic, you're not a woo, more like Uncle Abu!
Whoa, coming in hot there. I've heard of Agni-Kai, but this is ridiculous. Been waiting to make that joke. So you don't feel out of place among your friends?
Nope, they're great, I'm great. Just a bunch of great people skating around being great.
Oh, you skate?
Well, I mean, they skate more than I do. I mean, I can skate. It's just, in order to feel more comfortable, I have to wear protective gear and stuff, and it all makes me look pretty dorky, so I'd rather not, which is fine. I just chill while they do their thing. It's no big deal.
Do you feel like you might be prioritizing appearances over having a good time with your friends?
No, we're not doing this. Just like Lauren.
Lauren? Who is that person, man?
Hey guys, hey, welcome. This is Enrique's Exquisite Eatery. Come on down. The food's delicious. Where is it? I don't know. You gotta find it. We gotta swing.
This is like your own ad. Cause didn't he play
Oh my
Enrique or
She's the one who drives me here. She's constantly in my face saying, "That's stupid. If they don't like you the way you are, then they don't deserve you. Nobody cares how you look. Blah, blah, blah. Sunshine and rainbows."
Sounds like you don't like her.
I do. I'm just being an asshole.
Well, Elliot, from what you told
That's a
me,
mood.
you have even more in common with the little airbender than I thought.
From what I told you.
Well, many of Aang's initial struggles are in his fear that this life was never meant for him. I already told you how they forced his training years before he was ready, and how his disappearance led to the Fire Nation taking over much of the world. Circumstances like these would easily make someone feel guilty and unsuitable for some sort of great destiny.
I still don't see how.
When Katara and Sokka release him, Katara asks Aang about the Avatar. Aang lies and says,
I didn't know him. I mean, I knew people that knew him.
you see, Aang had developed somewhat of an imposter syndrome, saying to the world, look, you got the wrong guy. Ellie, would it be fair to say that you may not feel suited to carry your father's name?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's not the only reason why I don't like the name, but, the whole legacy thing is definitely uncomfortable. So I have imposter syndrome?
It may be part of the issue.
Oh, well, great. That doesn't help me get any better.
Well, sure it does.
Because I can say, see, Dad, I told you I'm not a Herbert. My therapist that you don't approve of said so.
No, because you can't fix a problem if you don't know where to look. One of the things about imposter syndrome is not giving yourself credit for the accomplishments and progress you've made. In Book 1, Episode 12, The Storm, Aang gets confronted by a fisherman who calls him out.
The Avatar disappeared for 100 years. You turned your back on the world.
Aang chooses to believe these words because they are what he believes about himself. He neglects the facts that he's already been journeying, training in waterbending, and helping people along the way.
Thank you, Avatar.
You are here trying to improve yourself. You have a sister who loves you for who you are, and a supportive friend who advised you to come see me in the first place. And I'm sure I'm only scratching the surface. Like Aang, who eventually overcomes his self-doubt to save that same fisherman,
You owe this boy an apology.
you'll overcome yours.
Apology.
And progress will become apparent.
At the end of the day, it's just hard to believe that when other people don't. When other people don't see it that way. I'm sorry, I can't put words.
Dad, you strike me as having the true blue spirit of Katara.
You can't knock me down.
Isn't that a Japanese sword?
No, but she's just as sharp. All right. Katara is kind and compassionate. When she was very young, she tragically lost her mother, so she was forced to grow up fast. She quickly took on a maternal role in her village and in her relationships. She's a waterbender, too, the only one from her village. Even though female waterbenders were considered to be strictly healers in the Northern Water Tribe, Katara displayed her aptitude and proved that she was worthy to be trained to become an amazing warrior and a waterbending master. That said, she didn't give up on being a healer. She just knew that she had the ability to become more than just what was expected of her.
How do you think I'm like
Timonette again.
You said yourself you were forced into a maternal role, but you took it all in stride. And you're clearly adaptable to different situations, a la your moving to town and meeting Larry story. You quickly put yourself out there and showed how capable you were.
Couldn't agree more. Love, you're an amazing woman.
You're both taking to the relationship similarly to how Toph and Katara took to teaching Aang earthbending and waterbending respectively. When Toph first tried to teach Aang earthbending, it proved to be pretty difficult for Aang. Toph's rigid and strict style of teaching was the opposite of Katara's positive and nurturing approach. Both needed to learn from each other on how to teach Aang in the best possible way, because no one way is correct. Although Katara's way is preferred by Aang at first, Toph's way is the one that leads Aang to face adversity and stand his ground. Toph learns to soften up, and Katara learns to mother the group less as the story goes on. Both of Yue need to learn how to best teach your Aang. Yue was Sokka's girlfriend, who we lost. She turned into the moon.
I do know about that.
Maybe Lauren's right, that your friends won't judge you for how you look.
But how would she know? She doesn't know my friends.
I'm inclined to believe her. I mean, if Rocket Power taught me anything about skateboarders, it's that they value friendship above all else.
I don't know. In my experience, it's better to just blend in sometimes.
I understand, Kai. Standing out can be pretty scary. Why did force you to come here? There must be something that she was concerned about.
She believes I need to open up more about myself.
And you disagree?
There's parts of myself that people don't need to know.
Well, it seems like Lauren believes there are traits worth sharing.
I don't know. I don't want anyone to think I'm like a geek or something.
I gave up on that.
From my experience, my geeky interests aren't really thought of as cool.
Like what? Enjoying cartoons?
Yeah. And I play video games. Kind of a lot.
I don't think there's anything weird about that.
No, you don't get it. Gaming is something I could actually do well, so I became very good. I learned to main Fox and...
Hang on, what main Fox are we talking about here? Robin Hood, Swiper, Todd, Nick Wilde, the Fantastic Mr. Fox, or the Foxes on my Soxes?
You are a lot.
A lot to love.
Fox is from this game, Super Smash Bros. Well, not originally, but that's the game I'm talking about. I got really good as him, and it's stupid, but I kind of studied the best players I could find online to get even better.
At least you're not playing as Olimar.
Entering tournaments and winning.
Wow!
Which led to me getting into other games. Like I now regularly win prizes like loot boxes by placing first in Overwatch tournaments on Battlefy.
Boy.
Me too.
This must be how others feel when I talk about cartoons they haven't seen.
And that's why I don't bring it up. No one cares about your stupid bullshit.
No, I didn't say that. Just because I'm not familiar with your passions doesn't mean your passions are stupid. They aren't stupid to Lauren, and if your friends are truly friends, your passions won't be stupid to them either.
I don't know.
I can see why you relate to Toph. Like her, you didn't let your circumstances stop you. You may not have snuck out at night to learn the ancient earthbending practices of the Badger Moles, but you learned tricks and techniques from online sources to hone your craft and have become one of the most fearsome competitors in specialized competitions.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, there is another person who I think you may be able to relate to, who we also learn about in that Storm episode. Perhaps because Aang and this person have similar journeys with self-worth. Zuko.
And this isn't Danny Zuko from Greece.
No, it's not. Please, we're talking about cartoons. This is serious. Zuko is one of the main antagonists for a good portion of the show. His sole mission, right from episode 1, being to capture the Avatar for the sake of the Fire Nation. And
I feel like I've been watching it reversed. I thought his eye was this one. Or...
I don't need any calming tea!
Wow, I'm
No, I
feeling so
just,
good about
I don't know.
myself.
Just hang on a moment. Over the episodes, it becomes clear that Zuko is after the Avatar for more than just the sake of the Fire Nation. There are moments where Zuko withholds information from and even sabotages the efforts of other members of the Fire Nation. Also, he can be the one to hand the Avatar over to his father, Fire Lord Ozai, and regain his honor.
Regain his honor?
Yeah, he lost it after speaking out of turn in a meeting, stating that sacrificing a whole Fire Nation troop as a simple distraction in a battle plan was not a good idea. What an offense, am I right? His father punished him by, spoiler alert, facing off against him in combat, burning and permanently scarring his face, and banishing him from the kingdom until he returned home with the Avatar.
That, sounds like a bad dad.
That sounds like an understatement.
I haven't seen the show. How bad did he burn him?
Bad. From then onward, Zuko became this embittered soul, leading a crew in search of the Avatar and becoming an enemy of Aang's.
That doesn't sound very fair.
It doesn't, does it? If only Zuko realized sooner that his worth did not stem from what his father thought of him, or wasn't diminished by his father's constant praising of his sister Azula. If only he learned to trust the words of his loving mother, who was no longer in his life, and the support of his wise Uncle Iroh, who always believed in him. It maybe could have saved him a lot of internal struggle.
Did it get better for him?
Oh, it did, though he didn't get there alone. As Iroh once said,
While it is always best to believe in oneself, a little help from others can be a great blessing.
Even though he had to fall even more in his father's eyes, he trusted his uncle and started a new path for himself. A decision that was so revolutionary, he literally experienced a fever and a metamorphosis of sorts. Even after this, there were backward steps for him. But he ultimately changed for the better.
To Zuko. Who knew after all those times he tried to snuff us out, today he'd be our hero?
Here, here!
So, he never proved himself to his dad?
Well, never truly, but I mean, the Fire Lord's not,
You know, sane.
a great guy, so it's probably for the best. I know your father isn't the Fire Lord, but Zuko had to be good enough for himself. He didn't need to prove himself to anyone else, and in the end, the people who truly loved him were there through it all.
Wow, people who truly loved him. Can't relate.
Elliot, why didn't you have a real talk with your boyfriend Mitchell? Kai, as much as I see Toph within you, why do you have this aversion to identifying with Sokka?
Because he's annoying and he can't do anything.
Oh, what? I'm not good enough to kidnap?
Oh, Kai, you can't mean that. You watched the show. You know how
He can't even bend like the others. You know, bending, the whole reason you watch the show. He's known for his great ideas, but Aang, Katara, and Toph needed to make his ideas work. Not to mention the others have had great ideas too. Better than Sokka's in some instances. He relies on others, he's not taken seriously, and he's a whiny baby! Shit's weak, Bakani. Shit's weak.
Well, Sokka may not be able to bend like his friends, but when it came down to it, he relied on his instincts. Like when Jet came along and he knew that guy was sketchy, so Sokka ended up saving an entire town. His lack of bending ability forced him to adapt and develop a resourceful nature that we don't see in a lot of bending characters. It's a strength in its own right.
So I'm Sokka because I'm less than.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. Look, in my group of friends, I'm already pretty different, and I don't just mean the EDS. I'm not about to add on that I'm obsessed with video games, that I have to wear f***ing finger braces to play, which, mind you, I used to get made fun of all the time for in school. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Now you know. But that doesn't need to be anyone else's business.
Kai, your feelings are completely valid. I do want to stress that there is an important distinction between feeling less than and actually being less than, which you definitely aren't. Your differences are what make you so spectacular as an individual. Both Sokka and Toph felt different. They both had to begin somewhere and worked to utilize their best traits to kick butt in their own ways. Although violence is never the answer.
Yeah, I guess Sokka did have some fine moments. I mean, he did have that meteor sword.
Right? That thing was the coolest.
So, I need to learn how to be more flexible.
And I need to learn to be more independent. But can I? How do I stop being such a mom? It's clear that my doting attitude towards Larry, paired with worrying about everything all the time, is not helping anyone. It's just smothering and annoying.
No, my sweet turtle dove. You could never annoy me. The worst you could do is make me need a nap.
Turtle Duck, you have seen the show!
I said turtle dove.
Sure, Larry. Your secret's safe with me. Dot. Mothers don't have a monopoly on those traits, and you don't necessarily need to stop exhibiting them. There's nothing wrong with showing that you care about Larry. Instead of focusing on getting rid of your nurturing side, you need to work on building your independent side. It's duality. Like with the Kyoshi Warriors in episode 4 of Book 1. Book 1.
I thought this was a cartoon show.
The Kyoshi Warriors are a team of elite fighters, and they're all women. Sokka at one point apologizes to Suki, the leader of the Warriors, for treating her like a girl when he should have been treating her like a warrior. Suki's response?
I am a warrior. But I'm a girl, too.
She's not
Did see that
one or the other, she's both. And you can learn to balance the different aspects of your personality, too. You just have to realize that there isn't any side of you that is lesser than any other. This is actually something Larry appears to do quite well.
Did you just compliment my balance?
Last session I gathered that you weathered the murky, dismal, social, and emotional pressure your grandfather put on you and came out of it fully embracing your sexual identity and shining for all to see! Is that right?
I guess that's true.
Aw, I was hoping he'd go, yeah!
Allowing myself to be myself more than anything.
Self-acceptance is even more satisfying than cactus juice. It'll quench ya. Toph also experienced some dissonance between who she truly was and who her caretakers thought she was. She hated the way she was constantly coddled growing up and interpreted it as people believing she was incapable of taking care of herself. You aren't really coddled. Quite the opposite. But you each had a personal journey to track in order to arrive at the place where you could both be your authentic selves. Your independence and commitment to self-reliance is admirable.
Thank you.
I thought we were pretending like Mitchell didn't exist.
Yeah, but he does exist. Final session, I'd like to work through as much as possible. Why not try to have an open discussion about some of the anxiety you feel in your relationship and how he might be able to help you?
There's no winning. Like he doesn't want to go to therapy because he doesn't see the point. But then he turns around and gets mad at me for going without him. And now he can't see you with me anymore. I've tried bringing things up. And he's never ready. There's never a good time. It doesn't do anyone any good. It doesn't do me any good.
Well, Zuko had to learn to deal with his sister Azula for a similar reason. She had mastered the art of lightning generation, the cold-blooded fire bending.
But lightning is hot.
That it is, Elliot. Yes. Zuko was taught that the only way to deal with lightning was by redirecting it away. It was still dangerous to deal with such energy, but it was the only way to take it head-on and potentially avoid getting hurt. That may be something you have to do with Mitchell, or any family member when dealing with important things that must be discussed. Redirecting their negative energy away from you and not letting it hurt you in confrontation. I know, easier said than done, but you'll get there in Scooby-Dooby-Doo time. Just remember, Larry, that you don't need to be completely self-sufficient in order to prove your independence. Your personal strength is not devalued when you let someone else do nice things for you.
I know that. I guess it's just hard for me to understand the need for grand gestures. You're my best friend, Dot. You don't need to do anything more than just be around me the way you always are.
Wish I knew why that wasn't enough for me.
Have you two ever heard of the 5 love languages?
I think so. What defines how different people express love, right?
Exactly. Everyone communicates love to others differently, but the idea of the love languages is that all forms expressions of love can take can be summed up into these 5 languages: words of affirmation, quality time, gift giving, acts of service, and physical touch.
We already use all of those.
Unnecessary.
Maybe so, but typically people have one primary language that they favor over the others, or that they respond to best.
Well, hello.
Much like the Avatar had to master all 4 elements, maybe it's time that you two learn to master and utilize each other's primary languages. Dot, you really seem to enjoy doing favors for other people. Might acts of service also be the language that speaks to you best?
I don't know. Maybe. It is nice to put effort into doing something nice for someone you love. And for that someone to show their appreciation through more than just words.
And Larry, you've expressed several times that the method of support that you favor is quality time.
Yeah. I mean it when I say that that's all I need from Dot.
You both need to find a middle ground when it comes to communicating your love. You need compromise.
How do we do that?
Well, it entails working on and practicing the love language that speaks to your partner best. It may take a while, but you'll get there in yabba-dabba-doo time. However, if this still seems like a daunting task, it may be best to look at the Cave of 2 Lovers.
Is that like a vacation spot, or?
I'm saying that you and Dot will only get over your mountain of issues by working together to come up with your solution. Much like Katara and Aang did when faced with the Cave of 2 Lovers in episode 2 of Book 2. A lot of the time, there isn't going to be an obvious path that leads you to all the right answers. Sometimes it's good to take the leap of faith, let the fire burn out, and let love lead the way. The path will reveal itself to you. Trust yourselves. Trust in the idea that you two can work things out.
as long as you're working together.
Even if you're lost, you can't lose the love because it's in your heart. Ooh.
Gorgeous.
Sorry. At the end of the day, Kai, whichever character makes you feel like you can conquer the world is a great role model. Except maybe Azula, or Ozai, or Sozin, or Chen the Conqueror, or...
So none of the people who actually tried to conquer the world.
Yeah. If you see yourself as tough, I'm all for it. Just don't forget that any similarities to Sokka you may see in yourself aren't as bad as you think. It's okay to have a little of both. Just keep in mind Uncle Iroh's lesson to Zuko about the different nations and the natures of their people. Each nation had specific strengths: endurance, passion, community, and inner peace. It was important to draw wisdom from different places.
If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
Ah, I like that part too. Although, just a bit of constructive criticism. If you're going to use a metaphor for embracing all parts of ourselves, a cleaner example would definitely be the chakras that Guru Pathak teaches Aang about in Book 2, Episode 19.
Ah, yes, the 7 chakras, dealing with survival, pleasure, willpower, love, truth, insight, and pure cosmic energy.
Each of them watched respectively by fear, guilt, shame, grief, lies, illusion, and earthly attachments.
And if we worked on each of those issues within ourselves, maybe short of letting go of supportive loved ones in our lives, it absolutely could help us feel better with our self-worth. Well done, Kai. Woogity, 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 woogity.
What are you doing?
Rocket power? No, never mind. I'd say for you, focus on that fear and shame you seem to be harboring. Take steps to embrace your passions. Your friends and Lauren will appreciate it. Self-improvement can be a difficult journey, but we can all get there. In Blue Sky Do, we can do time.
You just can't help yourself.
Switch things up in order to avoid repeating material. Yeah, they're not all winners. Look, Elliot, Uncle Iroh, who was a firebender, was able to teach Zuko how to redirect lightning only because he had previously studied waterbenders and their techniques. Think of the 4 elements as different parts of yourself. Perhaps by working on other elements within yourself, you will hone the technique of redirecting negative energy as well as further developing your self-worth.
Yeah, but it's like you said, easier said than done. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Then I'll leave you with this, Elliot. One of Aang's best friends, an earthbender king named Bumi, explains to him the concept of jig. Fighting is positive jig, and retreating is negative jig. But then Bumi reveals a third kind, neutral jig. This consists of doing neither, and waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
Where you going?
Stay with me. You're right, Elliot.
Where are you going?
If you're feeling terrible about yourself, I can't just tell you to start thinking you're amazing or beautiful. But we can start working in the neutral. Whenever these doubts and insecurities pop up, perhaps you can try thinking, maybe it's possible that I'm not as worthless as I think I am. These bridge thoughts are examples of living in the neutral. It's in the neutral that we're able to change. And by taking the time to be in that state, perhaps the healthiest perspective will find you. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today.
Thanks again for your help, Doctor. Hopefully Larry and I can apply what we've learned today and work on understanding each other better.
I have the utmost confidence you will. You two are smart, motivated people who really seem to value each other as individuals and in your relationship. Remember, love is brightest in the dark. It's great that you two both came into the last session and this one, not only to work out your issues, but also you're both so darn funny. I mean, you always have me in stitches.
I got interrupted again, but I gotta finish this.
Oh, Doc, you and all your cartoon references. Now, let's go.
Larry, the salmon!
Work through it.
I really appreciated your openness today, Kai. Sincerely. Maybe we can set up another time to talk?
Yeah, sure. Maybe. I don't know. Let me think about it.
No pressure. I hope to hear from you. Also, for the record, I knew Katara and Sokka were from the Southern Water Tribe. It was a ploy to get you to open up.
Mm-hmm. Sure it was.
It was. I definitely knew it. I'm a sly trickster like that. Look, this is what I was writing when you were correcting me. Okay, well, I went into a lot of detail about complicated plot lines, but I don't know which pole the main characters are from. Sure, that's believable. I guess. I did know it!
You're like me if I ever get a Sanderson quote wrong, which I don't.
Even though most people aren't the Avatar, the goal is to try to be more like the Avatar. In that, similar to how the Avatar brings balance to the world, we must work to bring balance to ourselves.
Okay.
So I guess, that's all, folks.
That was terrible.
Oh,
And also incorrect. I'll see you at the next appointment.
Really? But I thought...
While it is always best to believe in oneself, a little help from others can be a great thing.
It's, keeps blessing.
they tried.
Yeah. Bye.
Cool! Who's my next client? Kai. Like Acne Kai. Gotta make a joke about that.
I love the interconnectedness of this universe.
I just want to let you know that for this video, we had the help of Katie Morton.
Hi everybody, I am a licensed therapist and I have a mental health channel on YouTube where I talk about all things mental health.
Links for her channel.
Is that a reused clip?
They're awesome, so thank you so much, Katie.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Now.
That was reused.
Hey, got my eye on you.
Wanna try? Let us leave.
Let's just leave.
Cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I look like a beached whale.
No, you don't. Okay, I'll film my thoughts after dinner. So I had to go eat dinner before I could record my final thoughts, which is why it's a little delayed or I seem a little different or whatever. First of all, I'm so freaking happy that we have more Thomas content, even though, again, the wait was totally fine. The wait was definitely worth it. I love this video. It was really, really great. Had so many great messages. Got a little close to home with Elliot's past. Little close. And then, obviously, the never-ending story jab. One might say I got triggered, but I know that Tumblr doesn't like that word used ironically, so. But, I really, even though I didn't totally get every reference from Avatar, because I just started it, but, I didn't get every single reference from Steven Universe either, because I had only seen, like, bits and pieces of Steven Universe. So I didn't know everything about Steven Universe either, so it's fine, but I did get some other references. I really liked Kai's character, and I really loved that Talon was in it. Talon was phenomenal, and I loved, I don't really know if Kai is they or he. I'm assuming they're they, though, just to be safe. They had a really good, like, personality, very, very human personality, very realistic personality. Them going from quiet and withdrawn to kind of lashing out almost is very, very human in a situation where it's a first-time therapy appointment, like, especially when they don't want to be there. I've been in that situation of having been forced into therapy by family, and I didn't want to go there, so didn't want to talk, so I get that, and that's a very realistic thing, and I very much appreciate, like, realistic show. I love the couple, Dot and Larry, are very funny. They're very, very funny. Sometimes it's a little like, okay, but that's just because, you know, I like to focus on, I like watching the more, like, I liked watching, like, Elliot's story more, because obviously it's a lot more relatable to me. I've never had a significant other of any kind, because nobody likes me, so, I relate more to Elliot's like family problems and everything, and the comparing to the sister or comparing to the brother. Comparing to the brother because that's who their father preferred they act like and stuff. I totally get that. It's really, really close to home, so that was a little tough to watch, but it was still good to watch. I love Elliot's style. They're awesome. I love that they were wearing the skirt, and I love their black nail polish. I love them. They're like my favorite character ever, and I'm so glad that at the end we established that they are not, never coming back. I was really hoping the second they said that they're not gonna come back, I was like, no, I don't want Elliot to not return. I want to keep seeing this emo child because that's what they are, and it's great. And I love how they attempted to speak cartoon, but clearly didn't know all the cartoons. It's annoying that I had to take a break to go to dinner before I could record this, because now I'm not like fresh off of what happened. I really appreciate the arc with Kai, and that was establishing friends that don't appreciate you for you. I loved the whole bit about them talking about gaming and how they talk. That's exactly what it's like when you're talking about something you're passionate about. So it was really cool to see someone that portrayed very realistically. I loved that, especially when they brought up Overwatch, because I was like, me, I play Overwatch so much. I am a Junkrat main. I will destroy you. So that was like seeing. I don't get to geek out about that stuff very often, because similar to Kai, not a lot of my friends understand video game stuff that much, so I don't really talk about it. I mean, I talk about it, but they don't understand, and then I just feel bad for talking about it, because obviously just a chatterbox that doesn't shut up and just talks about only talks about things that she understands, so not popular with general life people in general. And I also really loved your acting, Thomas, in particular, because you clearly showed how difficult it was to have to see someone going through something as serious as not liking not liking yourself purely because you're being yourself, not having any self-worth. It was clear that Piccani couldn't handle that, or just didn't it was clear he didn't like that at all, and he had to take it, calm down so that he could use what he use his methods to help the person, rather than just saying you're not terrible, you shouldn't hate yourself, because obviously that doesn't work with most people. So it was really cool to see that touch, and I really appreciated that touch. I felt very like you at that moment, that was less Piccani and more like you. So, but I'm trying to remember everything that happened. Again, I just went away for 20 minutes to eat dinner, and I really liked I didn't know about the Earthbender character. I don't remember her name, and I'm not going to try and say it because I don't remember it. But the blind Earthbender, because obviously I'm not there yet, so I didn't know about that. But she seemed really cool, and I liked that comparison, and how Kai wanted to be compared to her, but wasn't truly compared. Obviously, the point was that she was more, or they were more like Sokka. I think that's how you say his name. Oh, I can't remember the name well enough to be sure of it. But they were more like him rather than like her, because the reasons. And I like that, because that's also very human, is wanting to be something and not actually being that person, not actually being you may want to be like Aang, but you're actually more like Katara or whatever. So it's and it's not a bad thing, it's just not what you want, so it makes you upset, but then you can come to terms with it. I also liked how Kai was like, oh, sure, and then they realized that they had just agreed to come see you again, and they had made it very clear that they didn't want to do that, and then they were like, oh, crap, I just gave it away, that it was okay, that this was okay. And I liked that a lot. I was waiting for you to mention that you saw their keychain, though, at the end when you're like, I knew that. You could have said, like, I saw your keychain, and that's why I brought it up. But, you know, you didn't, but it's fine. And then and they were like, oh, so you grew up with a grandfather, blah, 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 and then you came out fine. Is that correct? And then there was, like, the long pause before Larry says that was correct or whatever. I was hoping there would be a callback to when, and isn't mental health a good reason in Logan? And it's like, yeah. I was hoping that would happen, but that's just my Sanderside's brain taking everything and, you know, wait a second. A Sanderside's character said this. Or a Sanderside's episode went down something like this. Which is, you know, what my brain does with most things. And, there was something that I was watching. I was watching it and it came in mind, but I kept myself from bringing it up because I guess because I didn't want to talk over it and it felt like it wasn't important enough to talk over it, and I didn't want to pause it because pausing the video is really hard to sync up with the way I do the reaction thing where I put the square in the corner. The way I do that, it's really hard to like pause and like cut that up, so I try not to make my life easier, but I also try not to talk over it, which is probably, you know, most people are probably like, why is she sitting in silence for 50 minutes? And it's like, because I don't want to talk over the content I'm reacting to. My facial expressions should be enough. I just remembered a bit. There was that one line where Larry made fun of cartoons and animation, and I was just like, boy? Literally, like, I don't know if anyone noticed who watched it, but I literally, like, my face just dropped. And, like, I tensed up because I was like, if I could lecture you, fictional character, about animation, you would be sitting your ass down and I would be talking to you firmly about the wonders of animation. One more thought that I just remembered because I kept forgetting it. The scene where Elliot talks about why he didn't have a full conversation with Mitchell about the things you talked about in your last episode with their relationship. That is so realistic, it hurts. Like, applause for getting it so spot on, but I was trying to, you know, not talk during it, and I don't want to talk over, because obviously like I said, I have a thing about talking during the content, but that part in particular was really hard to stay quiet during, because while I may not have been in a romantic relationship with this person, I have a friend who I've known since I was in 3rd grade, who I don't feel has been treating me very nice. Like, to compare how I treat them versus how they treat me, they didn't even wish me a happy birthday on my birthday, and I've been getting them presents for like 3 years straight, like buying them presents and telling them immediately happy birthday, and they wouldn't even message me because I guess they didn't know, or they didn't care to, you know, read my Instagram or read my Twitter to, you know, see that it was my birthday. So that hit really close to home, because trying to have a conversation with him ended up putting us in a position where we don't talk anymore, and I don't even know where we stand anymore because he hasn't talked to me in like months, and he didn't appreciate what I had to say, even though it was all true, and I wasn't just criticizing him, because I know I'm not a perfect person, but trying to talk to people like that are just, they don't want to talk, it doesn't do any, like Elliot said, it's always like they're not ready, or they don't want to talk, or they don't feel like it, they're tired, they're busy, there's all of these things, and they never want to talk, so that hit really close to home too. But yeah, I loved it, and I loved all the callbacks, and I loved all the jokes, and I loved all the characters, and I'm so excited that you're back, and I hope that things go smoothly for your next project. I know there were bumps in the road with this one, and I'm hoping there are no bumps for the next one. Can't wait for the next Sandersides, but take your time, obviously. Please take your time if it means you'll rest, because you need to rest. And congratulations to everyone who is in this video and worked on it, because y'all did amazing. And it was great, and I loved it, and that's all. Okay.